Dua ini pinugtugturan. Ano ito? Pag magbanda-banda sa
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear a welcome message from the Chief of the School's Governance and Operations.
Maldita! Maldita na kayo!
continue. Oh. Oh. Ikaw.
You please turn off your mic.
Error lagi om. Error.
Ambot sa babaw kung ikuha niya.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear a welcome message from the Chief of the School's Governance and Operations Division, Chief Orlando Filgami.
Very much, Sir Gerald. May I know if I am heard?
Yes, Chief. Loud and clear.
Okay. Sige, thank you very much. Again, my courtesy and respect to our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Minerva T. Albis, and also our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Hector D. Macalalag, my partner, the Chief of the CID, Ma'am Lorna Pigayol, and the rest of the other concerned personnel in this orientation, to all of our applicants for this school year 2023 and 2024 school year, mayong hapon ka natong tanan. Giving you an orientation on the new guidelines for the hiring of teacher applicant. And this is a department order issued, released last year, but to be implemented this school year. Thank you so much of your attendance. Thank you for these applicants who really have the interest of listening these guidelines, because as I said, this is new and you need to know this so that you will be guided properly, and you can also do something that is to assess your documents pertaining to your application, and that would also tell you the points that you will be earning in the new guidelines that we have. This is for all of the applicants. To those who you need to submit again your documents because all of the applicants must undergo in this new guidelines. We order number 29, the new MSP, the merit selection plan of our department, the Department of Education. As I said, this is a better venue for us to give you the orientation, and all of you are here in this virtual platform, welcoming you and asking your patience and asking also the kind of understanding that you could have in this orientation. So again, to all of our applicants and all of these concerned personnel on this orientation, uh, good afternoon and God bless everyone.
Thank you, Chief. At this point of time, for the statement of purpose, we have our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Hector Dean Mapalalag, CESO 6. Sir.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sige, thank you very much, Gerard. Thank you very much also, Sir Gamil, for giving us the welcome message. And as mentioned by Sir Gamil, all of the applicants will really have to undergo the selection process because there's a new guideline. There's a total revamp of the previous criteria, and that will be discussed later. The point system from the previous guidelines that we have undergone changes from education up to, I think there's teacher reflection form. So lahat po ng percentage and lahat ng manner how to assess the document is being revised. That's why all of the applicants, hindi namin pwede i-carry over yung scores ninyo from the previous guidelines to the new guidelines because it's different. So you must really undergo for the different activities on the recruitment and selection of Teacher 1 applicants. So friends, the purpose for this afternoon is for you to be oriented since we have a timeline. Ang timeline po natin ay magsa-start na po tayo ng submission by Thursday. And it's very unfair for you na hindi clear sa inyong lahat kung ano yung isa-submit ninyo and what are those things that you need to do before submitting. So before the discussion on the new guidelines for the recruitment, selection, and hiring of Teacher 1, I will discuss Division Memorandum number 88, Series of 2023. Right, paki-flash yung division memo. Division Memo number 88, series of 2023. So I will be discussing this one. And then after my discussion will be the new guidelines of the merit selection plan. Okay. So last week, the dated March 2, we have issued Division Memo number 88, series of 2023, entitled Recruitment, Selection, and Hiring of Teacher 1 Applicants for school year 2023-2024. Take note, marami kaagad ang nag-grant sa Facebook kasi akala nila yung ating registry of qualified applicants is for this school year. Take note na sa ating memorandum ng MSP, ang ating RQA ay hanggang end of the old RQA can still be used. But we will take into consideration na hindi kayong lahat ay ma-hire. So we have to create another registry of qualified applicants to accommodate those who are new passers, and of course to those who are who want to apply, because that is embedded in our equal opportunity principle that all shall have the opportunity to apply for a position. So we cannot bar the new applicants to not to apply. Okay. So number one, relative to the hiring of teacher 1 position, this office calls for the submission of documents by the applicants for the recruitment, selection, and hiring of teacher 1 applicants for kindergarten, elementary, secondary, including senior high school for 2023-2024 in anticipation vacancies due to promotion, resignation, retirement, or death. Number 2, the teacher applicant shall submit their written application and a photocopy of the pertinent documents listed below to the division secretariat, HRMO personnel, on the deadline indicated in the memorandum. Right, pakitaas sa number 2. Okay. So ito yung mga documents na dapat ninyong i-accomplish. Okay. Letter of intent addressed to the head of office. Of course, our head of office is our schools division superintendent, Dr. Minerva T. Albis. Okay? Take note ang mga spelling ha, na magkuan, mag-send of application letter, Alvis, letter V. Na ay mag-send po uban, Albes. Katong instead of ALBIS, they will put ALBES. Take note of the spelling of the names. Minerva T. Albis. Okay. And then photocopy of valid and updated PRC license. And then we have a addendum now. We will post that one in our page. Nakasali dito sa letter C ang authenticated PRC license. Talagang authenticated ng PRC, no? Hindi lang photocopy. So, ginawan po namin ng addendum yan kasi kailangan talaga authenticated. That is letter C. Letter D is the photocopy and authenticated certificate of rating. And then letter E, photocopy of scholastic academic record such as TOR, diploma, including the completion. Mayroon din itong addendum. Kailangan po siya nakakav ang letter E. Certification ng inyong transcript of records by the CHED. Hindi pwedeng hindi nakakav kasi we will have a waste of time kung ang inyong school ay bogus, no? Kung hindi recognized ng CHED. So we want to make sure that those who are RQA anytime, pag tatawagin siya mag-item, ready na kanyang papers. Kung tatawagin siyang mag-substitute, ready na ang kanyang mga papers. So take note, yung PRC, saka yung ating TOR dapat naka-CAV. Okay, we have an addendum on that. So that's the beauty of attending this orientation. Next is letter F. Photocopy of service record or certificate of employment if applicable, if you are employed, no? Kung naka-employed ka na. And then photocopy of certificates of training if applicable. Kasi part ng ating criteria is ang training. Photocopy of the latest performance rating covering one performance or 1 year performance if you are employed. If you are not employed, then this is not applicable. Then, omnibus sworn statement and checklist of requirements. So, ang ating CID chief ay nagawa ng checklist of requirements to be verified by the checkers. Can you flash it, Rard? May soft copy ka, wala no? Sige, we will flash it later. Okay, so there are checklist of requirements. However, this must be updated kasi kailangan ng na TOR saka authenticated na PRC license plus added to that is the NBI clearance. Okay. Number 3. Pakitaas, Rad. A detailed lesson plan with a 45-minute demo teaching with learners shall be uploaded to this link, no? Number 3, right? With a specified dates as stipulated in paragraph 6 of this memorandum. Ngayon, we will have the CAN demo because the CAN demo, pwede kaming mag-observe any time of the day. So we can observe if we will have face-to-face observation of your demonstration teaching, it will be bulky for us and it will be very laborious. We cannot do other work. So the observers really have to stay in the classroom and then observe you the whole day, and then they can only observe you a maximum of 4 or 5 applicants per day, whereas kung naka-CAN demo po siya, naka-record siya, we can observe even Saturdays, Sundays, those who are assigned, no? So naka-CAN demo siya. Ng iba sa akin, saan kami kukuha ng learners, sir? So we will instruct the school principals, lahat ng schools, public schools sa ating division of Agusan del Sur to accommodate you having a demonstration teaching to them, no? Yung lalong-lalo na yung mga new graduate pa, kailangan ninyo ng mga learners, so doon kayo sa pinakamalapit na paaralan sa public school, so sa inyo. So we will instruct all the principals in this division to accommodate your request for a demo teaching. So kailangan makita sa demo teaching kayo na nagdi-demo sa kayong inyong mga learners. Okay? But if you are already teaching as a local paid teacher or a teacher in private school, so no problem kahit hindi sa public school kayo mag-demo. For as long as there is a learner in your demo, then pwede. So take note, yung demo na yan na link ay naka-close pa yan, no? So that will be open on the specified date na mag-start na tayo mag-accept ng demonstration teaching. Okay, number 4. This office will not anymore or will no longer accept letter of intent to retain previous scores. Kasi previously, we are accommodating yung mga na-RQA last year ay mag-submit lang sila ng letter of intent. We will retain their scores or even update their scores. Ngayon, it's different. Kasi we have a new set of guidelines. siguro in the succeeding years na kung pare-pareho na yung guidelines natin, pag naging RQA na kayo sa new guidelines natin, we can adapt your scores. But for the meantime na bago yung guidelines natin, bago sa previous guidelines, we cannot accommodate a letter of intent to retain previous scores. So you cannot question that one because that is the decision of the central office. That is not the decision of the division office. Ha? I repeat, hindi po yan decision ng division office na lahat ay mag-undergo. That is because of the emergence of the new guidelines. So lahat talaga kailangan mag-undergo sa kanyang recruitment, selection, and hiring na processes. So hindi wag ang sabi kasi ng iba may nagra-run sa Facebook, there are those teacher applicants na nababasa ko, no? So sayang daw, ganon. So ganyan talaga, no? So because we are just following orders. So maybe for the next school year, kung pare-pareho na yung guidelines natin, we will allow applicants to retain their previous scores. But as of now, we have to follow this. Kasi mamaya, you will really see that it's all different. It's all different from the previous criteria. Okay. Number 5. The applicants are also advised to strictly follow the color coding of the folders assigned. Sa kindergarten, white or beige. Okay, teacher applicants. Yung kindergarten are those who are teacher applicants who are specialized in early childhood education. So, tatanggapin namin sa kindergarten kung specialized kayo sa early childhood education. Blue is for elementary. Lahat ng elementary ay blue, pero elementary teachers are advised to classify themselves as to what subjects they belong based on their proposed learning area demo teaching and put subject name, example, English, at the upper right-hand cover of their blue folders. Moreover, if they are IP or madrasa applicants, they have to write the subject and the program, example, English, iPad, or English, madrasa. Okay? So, I hope that it is clear, no? So, yung mga applicants na elementary, you will be grouped according to your subject of demonstration teaching. Halimbawa, kasi wala namang specialization yung pure elementary, no? So, all your folders are blue, pero lagyan sa upper right-hand corner ng subject. Like the example, English. Halimbawa, kung English ka, at the same time, IP, iPad, or madrasa applicants, lagyan ng English, bar, iPad, no, sa upper right-hand corner. Ito yung ating additional colors. Sa junior high school, English red, white sa mathematics, pareho yung kindergarten, saka white sa secondary sa mathematics, because we cannot think of other color. Baka maubusan kayo ng other color. We are thinking of black folder, pero baka wala namang binibenta na black folder dyan sa local store ninyo, maging dahilan pa na hindi kayo mag-submit ng inyong application. So it's all right na yung white or beige sa kindergarten and then sa secondary, white for mathematics. Then for science, you will have yellow. For Filipino and SPED, for secondary, we have Panlipunan and MAPE. Pink for ASP, Madrasa, TLE, and iPad. For senior high school, for TBL and ABM, you will use green. And then for arts and design, and for the UMS 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, STEM A, STEM B, and sports, we will use violet. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, this is the schedule of activities. Okay. Number 1, division orientation of teacher applicants. on the process and requirements through MS Teams. This is today. So today we are having the orientation of teacher applicants. The second one is the acceptance of application. So March 9, this coming Thursday, to March 22, that is approximately 10 working days, excluding Saturday and Sundays. So that is the in charge of this is the division in charge of personnel. But we have deployed the 12 AOs, no? Mag-receive sila ng inyong application dito sa division office. And then sa March 23 up to April 14 is the evaluation on the qualification of applicants. Okay? And then March 23 then up to 31. Starting March 23 up to 31. The uploading of detailed lesson plan with 45-minute can video demo teaching. So mayroon kaming link na inilagay doon sa ating number 4 or number 3 sa ating memorandum. So magtanggap lang kami ng ating detailed lesson plan after the submission of application. So on March 23 to March 31. Take note, this is a Google submission through Google, no? This is a Google form. So mag-submit kayo doon. So you will upload that one, your demonstration teaching. And then, number 5 is the conduct of comparative assessment of all your documents, no? Lahat-lahat. That is on April 21 to May 19. So po pwede na yung essay or yung ating teacher reflection form sa letter B, paki-move sa next slide, right? Yung the guidelines on the PPST, yan, letter B. So yung A kasi naka-CAD na siya, no? So wala nang problema. Yung B, the non-classroom observable indicators or NCOI will be conducted on April 21 to May 19. So there's a possibility that we will choose a certain date from these given dates and then we will gather you, no? Para rin siyang English proficiency test. Pero iba ito kasi teacher reflection form. You will be So the teacher reflection form will be discussed by Ma'am Joy Halalon mamaya. At saka yung ating demonstration teaching, the rubrics and the mechanics will discuss by Ma'am Gayol. And then yung mga criteria iba will be discussed by Dr. Gamil mamaya. And then yung demo teaching, i-discuss din ni Mr. John Rill, no? So lahat ng mga ito ay may mga assigned people. Okay. And then by May 22, the submission of comparative assessment result by the sub-screening committee to the HIMPSB. So yung mga subcommittee namin, mag-submit na sila sa amin. And then by May 22, and then finalization by May 23 to 31. And then we will also post the results on that day. And then you will be given a time to view your scores, and then you will be asked to complain if there are mga complaints. And then the submission to the complete and final result of the RQA to the SDS is on June 5, and then in June 13 is probably the release of the CAR RQA, comparative assessment results of the registry of qualified applicants. Yan yung CAR RQA, ibig sabihin niya. So, sa June, valid pa rin yung old RQA natin kasi ang ating school year ay hanggang June, no? By July we will have the vacation already or maybe in the last week of June. So valid pa rin yung ating last present RQA until the last day of the school year 2022 2023. Okay, number 7. Next slide. Okay, so there shall be no discrimination in the selection of employees. Status, disability, religion, ethnicity, or political affiliation as stated in the 2017 Ora-Ora. So, hindi ko na i-discuss yung mga list of HRMP officials because they are for the division consumption. So, but i-run through ko siya. Next slide, Rad. Hindi ko na babasahin lahat. Yan. Yan yung mga in charge natin from group 1 to 3, Filipino and SPED, Ma'am Ivy, Tony Franca, English, Ma'am Ivy Naparan, EPPTLE, Ricky Rusco. May mga members sila. Next slide. From Science, we have Sir Jeffrey Apat, Mathematics, Sir Nilo Montaño, MAPE, Sir Danny Baldos, Araling Panlipunan, Ma'am Lalaine Gumera, Kindergarten, Ma'am Lalaine Gumera. Okay. IP Education, Sir Tomas Pirol, and then ESP and Muslim Education is Ma'am Arlene Batausa. And then ABM UMS 1A, si Ma'am Arlene. MTB MLE, si Ma'am Lailani Abutay. Arts and Design, si Ma'am Lailani Abutay. At lahat ng mga tracks sa senior high school, ang iba na hindi na-mention ay naka Sir Abraham Masendo. Okay. So, we also have checkers for teacher reflection form. Sa teacher reflection form, your names will be coded. So, hindi talaga siya mag-appear sa sheet of paper because lalagyan siya ng code. Okay, so this is now the Division Memorandum number 88 series of 2023. Okay, I would like to reiterate yung ating number 2 kanina, yung ating PRC license should be authenticated by the PRC themselves and ang ating TOR ay dapat nakakav. Added to that is the NBI. So I think that would be all for this discussion. Thank you very much for listening. I will now turn over you to the MC for the next speaker. Later, you will be given the opportunity to ask questions. Siguro on the chat box para hindi tayo magkagulo. Yung iba sa inyo hindi pa marunong mag-attend ng mga online activities. Kahit naka-on yung camera, naka-on yung microphone, no, hindi sila aware. So nakaka-distract sa iba. So please be mindful of that, no? Especially when you become teachers. But I understand that as of now you are not just used to it. Okay, so ito yung checklist of requirements mentioned ko kanina, pakibaba Rard. So name of applicants, position applied, tika mo na, contact number, religion, ethnicity, lagay diyan kung person with ability or solo parent, and then the status of submission, and then verification. So nandyan ano, so letter of intent, address to the head of office, nandyan na lahat ng mga requirements which I have mentioned kanina. Okay. So until the last, then kasali na rin dyan ang omnibus sworn statement, certification of authenticity and veracity. So kami na yung mag-attest basta makapirma na kayo. So and then the data privacy content. So you will use this template on your omnibus sworn statement. Hindi na kayo maggamit ng ibang form. So this is the checklist of requirements and omnibus sworn statement. So I think that would be all for my discussion. I will be back mamaya for if you have questions. We will entertain after all of the discussions, the different questions. So ano muna natin, kailangan nating matapos on time because the schedule is only half day. Thank you very much and may God bless us all.
Thank you, ESDS, for that comprehensive discussion on the salient features of the Division Memorandum number 88 series of 2023 on the recruitment, selection, and hiring of Teacher 1 applicants for school year 2023-2024. Again, our dear applicants, please reserve your points of clarifications or questions to our resource speakers as we have time. So let us proceed to the next topic, the assessment of Teacher 1 applicants using the criteria 1, 2, 3, and 4 in education, training, and experience. For this topic, may I give you our SJOD Chief, Dr. Orlando If Gamil.
Gerald.
Yes, Chief.
Nakakuha na siya. Okay, thank you very much, Gerald. Kindly flash the guidelines as to the requirements is concerned. Okay, so we have to start now on the teacher hiring because expectedly you applicants for the position, you are applying for the teacher 1 position. Let's focus on the teacher 1 position. Okay, so how do we assess teacher using the new guidelines? Let's focus, as I said, on the teacher 1 hiring. The criteria are the following. Letter A, this is all about your education, which has the maximum points possible, which is 10 points. And then training is also 10 points. And experience is also 10 points. And for our eligibility, if you are pivot, if you are LET or LEPT, you also have the corresponding point, but we have to use the formula on how you have to get the 10 points. Then this will be followed on the classroom observation, or that is what we call demonstration teaching. And the last one is the teacher reflection, which is 25 points. The total is 100%. As I said, I will be giving only to give you an explanation on how this education, training, experience, and your eligibility will be computed having the new guidelines as it is on the increment process. So this is now the criteria or point system as it is on education. What is this description on the education? This is units or degree relevant to the position to be filled, whether it is a kindergarten, elementary, junior high school, and the senior high school, exceeding the qualification standard. That has the maximum point of 10 points. For the training, the description on this is hours in curriculum and instruction, exceeding the qualification standard acquired in the last 5 years. That is, again, 10 points. For experience, the description on this is months or year of teaching, exceeding the qualification standard for the senior high school, relevant industry, work experience may be considered, and that is again 10 points. For your eligibility, if you are PBET or licensed LET or LEPT rating, you can have also the corresponding point, the maximum of 10 points. I have to deal with you only on this 4 aspect of the criteria, because on the another discussant will discuss to you on that. So here is now the rubric computation for education, training, and experience, which has the points of 30 as presented before, that education is 10, training is 10, and experience is also 10, the total of 30 points. The points of ETC or experience, education, training, and experience corresponding to the applicant's qualification exceeding the qualification standard shall be computed using the increments table and the ETC rubrics. Only those qualifications that are relevant to the position to be filled shall be given points. Remember, only those qualifications that are relevant to the position to be filled shall be given points. So this is now the increment table. This increment table, this is a tool that is used in determining the incremental points in education, training, and experience obtained by the applicants that exceeds the minimum requirements per CAC approved qualification standard or QS. For education, we have this increment table. For the training, we also have our increment table. And for our experience has also this increment table. So the DepEd is looking for a teacher 1 in secondary MAPE. So this is an example where we can see how this application of a teacher applicant pertaining to the secondary MAPE, which the major is MAPE. Let's simulate this one. On this template, you can see this template for teacher 1 position secondary MAPE, no? So with this template, you can see the vacant position which we need to hire, and that is teacher 1 secondary. And the plantilla item, which is also reflected in this template. So this is just only an example that we need 1. What if it is 2, 3, and 4? All of this as the position vacant will be the same thing that we have to reflect here. So salary grade or salary job, which is salary grade 11, then monthly salary, which is 25,439, but now it's not 25,000, it's something like 27, if I am not mistaken. For the qualification standard, start on education, that the standard must be BS-Ed or bachelor's degree plus 18 units in education, no? So naaman tay mga dili graduate og BSED but has the 18 units in education that would also be considered unqualified in this position. Training not required. Experience is also not required. Eligibility is Republic Act 1080 or the teacher secondary. Remember, ang eligibility mo matter because there are holder of eligibility which their eligibility is elementary. So dito, ang sinabi na bakante ay secondary. So, ang dapat, ang iyang eligibility is let LEPT which is in the secondary. So, competency applicable or place of assignment, which is now silent. Is the O, agusan sor ang place of assignment. In this particular applicants, we have 3 applicants that we have to simulate. Applicants rambutan, applicants apple, and applicants buko. You try to look at and see yourself on this example so that you can also assess yourself. For rambutan, apple, and buko, here's now their qualification. Rambutan is BSED holder. On the training, rambutan do not have training. And for experience, this applicant rambutan do not have also. While si apple is BSED graduate with 18 units for a masteral degree in education. Na siya ay 18 units sa masteral. Sa training ni Apple, nasa 32 hours, training on curriculum contextualization, localization, and lesson planning, which their training was in January 26 to 29, 2021. For the experience, Apple has 4 years and 3 months as teacher associate in Marian Academy. In her experience, she started last June 1, 2018 to present. So, mo nang equivalent, 4 years and 3 months. Buko is a graduate or holder of with 18 units professional in education. And pertaining to training, Boko has 24 hours training on sports training and coaching. And that was in September 13 to 15, 2016. And that is now the kabuuan ng kanyang training, 24 hours in his training. For the experience, Buko has 6 years and 2 months as teacher in Sacred Heart Academy, Novaliches. He started in July 1, 2016 to present. So if you try to look at on these 3 applicants, dili sila qualification nga ilang gihold. Dili sila pareha o training, no? Na isa sa ilang nga walay training. Ang duha lang. So let's start now on looking at rambutan's qualification. So you try to look at this on rambutan qualification as it is. She is a BSc graduate, bachelor's degree, plus 18 units in education as the minimum requirement. Thus, rambutan qualified as to education is concerned? Yes, because he is BSc holder. The minimum requirements for the position is none. Dili kinahanglan ang training nga requirements. And so, rambutan applicant has no training at all. Mo qualify ba gyapon siya? Yes, kay wala gikinahanglan ang training. For the experience, minimum requirement is none. Still, rambutan do not have the experience. So, mo qualify ba gyapon siya mga apply? Yes. So therefore, our new graduate definitely they do not have trainings, they do not have experience. However, they are qualified in applying the vacant position. So for rambutan, on the 3 aspects to consider as to the education, training, and experience, this is the situation of our applicant, Mr. Rambutan. Next, Sir Gerald. In other words, if we try to look at Rambutan's pag-assess sa iyang documents, since Rambutan on his education meet only the qualification standard, which he is not having the MA, therefore, ang points ni Rambutan in his education is 0. Kaya wala siya MA. No? For the training also, since Rambutan do not have the training, ang iyang points is still 0. The third aspect is on experience, which Rambutan do not have an experience, therefore, he has the points which is 0. So on the 3 areas for the assessment as to the qualification of Rambutan on education, training, and experience, Rambutan got 0. Let's move now to Apple. Okay. Hi, I'm Apple. The education of Apple, she is a holder of BS8 or bachelor's degree plus units in education as the minimum requirement. However, Apple is BS8 graduate with 18 units for master's degree in education. For the training, Apple don't have. For the training, Apple has 32 hours training on curriculum contextualization or localization and lesson planning. So mayroon siyang 32 hours. For the experience, Apple has 4 years and 3 months as teacher associate in Marian Academy since June 1, 2018 to present. So yun ang kay Apple na qualification on these 3 aspects for the consideration. So let's move now. Okay. So for Apple, since ang iyang education is, she is also earning 18 units for a master's degree in education. And according dito sa iyang increment table, if an applicant has 18 units in the masteral, she will be given an increment of 11. So the increment level of Apple is 11 minus the qualification standard, which everybody must be a bachelor's degree. This 11 will be deducted from the bachelor's degree, which has the increment of 5. Yung makikita ninyo dyan. Because once you are only a holder, your increment is 5. So i-minus natin yan, ang 11 minus 6 equals 5. Yan ang points ni Apple. Now, pila may points nga ma-earn ni Apple nga ang iyang increment is 5. Base dito sa increment ni Apple nga 5 ang iyang makuha is doon natin makikita sa itaas, no? Na pag ang points ng education ay nasa 4 to 5 increments. Ito, nakikita ninyo? Ito, pag nasa 4 or 5 increments siya, ang kanyang points is 6 as to education is concerned. That is why Apple is given 6 points. Yan ang nindot kung naakay masteral. So we will proceed to the training of Apple. The training of Apple is 32 hours training. So what is this 32 hours training ni Apple? Pag ang aplikante mayroon siyang trainings na na-acquire niya, just like this kan Apple nga 32, pila man ang increment ani. When an applicant has the training of 32 hours, dito, ito, so nasa 32 si Apple. So, ang yung increment is 5. Now, 5 minus the requirements, which is 1. No? So, therefore, makikita natin dito, 5 minus 1 equals 4. Dito. No? So, dito sa training naman, sa itaas ng table natin, pag ang training niya ay nasa 4 o 5, as to the increment is concerned, ang kanyang points is 6. Ito. No? Therefore, si Apple ay magkaroon ng points as to her training, which is 6 points. Okay, ito. Next is experience of Apple. Apple has 4 years and 3 months as teacher associate. So, dito naman sa experience ni Apple, on this side, na makikita nyo ang cursor, pag ang 4 years and 3 months na experience, naasiyay increment na 9. O, ito. So therefore, i-minus natin sa kanyang qualification standard, which is 1. No? So 9 minus 1, ito, equals 8. So dito naman sa experience, as to this table is concerned, pag ang kanyang experience ay nasa 8 or more years, as to increment is concerned, ang kanyang points is 10. Wala na ilain nga makonsider nga 12, 14 because the maximum points that we could give as to experience is concerned is 10. Therefore, second applicant, which is Apple, she get 20 points for ETA. What is this ETA? Education, training, and experience. Yan ang kanyang points na na-earn niya. We will proceed now to Buko. So Buko, on his education, she is a BS Sports Science with 18 units in education. Tanong, qualified ba si Buko? Yes, because although he is a holder of sports science, pero mayroon siyang 18 units professional in education. As to training, Buko has also the training that is 24 hours on sports training and coaching from September 13 to 15. So mayroon siyang 24 hours. Then for the experience, Buko has 6 years and 2 months as teacher in Sacred Heart. So therefore, Buko is qualified in claiming his experience as to experience is concerned. So let's try on this assessment of Buko's qualification in these 3 aspects. Okay. Kanina sinabi natin na si Buko is B is sports lang siya. So nganong zero man si Buko? Because naara si Buko sa iyang 18 units professional units in education, which is the basic standard qualification of the applicant. Therefore, the points that Buko has is 0 point. Let's move now on the training of Buko. It is said here, Buko has 24 hours training. So in the increment, as to training is concerned, Buko has 24. Look at in this increment. Pila man ang 24 ni Buko? And that is 4. No? So, Buko has the 4 points in the increment minus the basic level, which is 1. So Buko minus 1 equals 3 in his increment. So, tingnan natin kung ilan o pila may points sa gitawag nato nga 3 points. O dito, sa training ni Buko. Since Buko has 3 points, 2 to 3 increments as to training is concerned, therefore, she has 4 points in training. Ito, no? And so, Buko has 4 points in training. Kung nakikita niyo ito, giliyok-liyok na ko ang cursor. Okay, let's move na to experience. Buko has 6 years in experience. Medyo taas-taas. So, if you try to look at the table of experience and increments on this, if 6 years and 2 months, no? Pag 6 years and 2 months, dito, you have the points which is 13. I-minus natin ang basic requirements as to experience is concerned, that is 1, no? So, therefore, 13 minus 1 sa kay Buko experience equals 12 points si Buko sa kanyang experience. So, titingnan natin ang experience ni Buko sa 12. So, na-pull dito siya sa itaas na 8 or more increments. So, the points will be given to Buko is 10 points. In other words, as to education of Buko, she got 0 or he got 0. For the training, Buko got 4. And for the experience, Buko got 10, which is the maximum. So total for Buko's point of these 3 aspects on the assessment of his record, Buko gets 14 points for education, teaching, education, training, I should say, and experience. So you can see now on the example which presented to you as to this assessment of applicants, no? Yung tatlong applicants na na-assess natin dito. Okay? So, that's how we have to See and assess. Even you yourself can assess now your documents. Okay, let's move now on the fourth aspect that we have to consider. And this is on the eligibility that you are holding, which that is a pivot, that is a let, or that is LEPT rating. I think there is no, if I'm not mistaken, there is no more holder of the pivot because this pivot is an eligibility that just like us na among napasaran. Karon ang halos atong aplikante mga lit naman LEPT or kana nga eligibility ang inyong gigunitan. Pero kung mayroon mang mga pivot, well and good, you can still apply. So there is now a rubric for computation of LEPT, lit, and pivot rating. Let's discuss first on the pivot. Pero sa akong pananaw, I don't think so kung napabay pivot. Pero kung napa, you are still welcome. No? Kasi this is our eligibility before. PBET means Philippine Board Examination for Teachers sa among time. No? So, our passing rating before is 70. So you look at this, no, as to PBET rating is concerned. Point system for PBET, ito, times plus 1 minus 70 because that is our rating. That is our passing rating. Over 100 minus 70 times this WE PBIT or LET or LEPT, where means X equals PBIT rating, ito, and then weight allocation for PBIT, LET, LEPT rating. Then 70 is the passing rate for PBET, and 100 highest possible rating for PBET. So the illustration would be like this. X 82.75. Example, if you are a holder of this rating as to PBET is concerned, this is just an example, 82.70. The weight allocation equals to this 10, no? So the points would be like this. 82.75 plus 1 minus 70 over divided by 100 minus 70. In other words, 82.75 plus 1 equals 83.75 minus 70 divided by 100 minus 70 is 30. So, magkakaroon kayo ng 83.75 minus 70 equals 13.75 divided by 30, mauna nga 4.583 ang points ninyo. If your points is 82.75 divided by 10, magkaroon kayo ng 4.583. Kung kana ang inyong kuan. Pero kung ang inyong rating as to PBET is concerned, kaya sa amo nga time, wala ning 80 to 75, wala mi ana. Ang amo is 70.73, 70.65, 66, 67. Unlike sa litron nga 75.20, 40, 60, 80, at something like that. So kung kayo ay LEPT or LET, eligibility holder, ganito rin ang pag-compute ng inyong rating. X times LET rating. WE means weight allocation for LEPT or LET. 75, your passing rating. 100, highest possible rating for LET. So the illustration would be like this. Using the same points as to PBET rating nga itong gigamit gain na, this illustration applies that 82.75 plus 1 minus 75 over 100 minus 75 is times 10 equals 3.5. In other words, 82 plus 70 plus 1, 83.75 minus 75. Then divided by 25, the result of this, 10 minus 75 times 10, and your points that you have as to your eligibility is concerned is 3.5. So this is the way you have to get your points in your PBET. No? So in this example, an illustration that we are presenting to you, you can assist now as to your points is concerned on this particular aspect when the time that you are assessing yourself in these 4 areas of your concern as to the aspect of computation. Again, this will start on your education, which I thoroughly discussed to you how you can get the points, and your training, which also presented to you how you can get your points, and your experience, the same, which I also presented to you how to have your points. And this last aspect as to this illustration is concerned, an explanation to you on the rubrics computation of your eligibility from your PBET, LEPT, and LET. So that's all that I could present to you, and I hope I have given more emphasis and explanation for this matter of the assessment in the 4 aspect in your application. So thank you for listening. Good luck. God bless everyone, and looking forward that everybody can follow and properly you are guided on this particular presentation. God bless everyone, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief Gamil, for a well-delivered discussion on how the EPE criteria as well as the eligibility of our applicants will be assessed. And next topic is the assessing of teacher one applicants using criteria 4 or the PPST CUI classroom demonstration to be conducted by Ma'am Lorna Pigayon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ay, salamat na ikaw. Thank you, Sir Nin, for the response. Good afternoon, dear applicants. At this point, we are going to discuss how we are going to compute or how we are going to rate you in terms of PPST COIs, which is the highest so far of the 6 criteria here. The PPST COIs has the biggest points, which is 35 points. This is followed by the PPST NCOIs, which is 25 points. So PPST stands for, I believe all of you have heard this already during your college days. This is Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. This is based on DepEd Order number 42, Series 2017, which was issued August 11, 2017. So dugay-dugay na po di siyang DepEd Order. And siguro tanan mo nakadungog na ani because I believe this is part of your review in different review centers. So let's move on to the details of this. So as you can see on the slide, rubrics for computation of PPST indicators. So meron tayong rubrics na susundin nito as part of DepEd's overall strategic HR framework and direction and competency-based HR. Teacher hiring shall now be based on the demonstration of expected competencies and professional standards as defined in the PPST. Sa una, naghihapon to DepEd Order 7, DepEd Order 3, DepEd Order 50. We already used a lot of DepEd orders na siya gyoy classroom observation, pero gagmay ra to, tag 10 points lang. In here, in the new guidelines, napakalaki po, 35 points. So, kailangan pagtuunan natin ito ng pansin kasi ito yung magpo-pull up sa atin o magpo-pull down po sa atin in the process of hiring. So, ang yung non-classroom observable indicators, si Ma'am Joy Halalon po ang magdi-discuss niyan. So, dito tayo magfo-focus sa COIs or classroom observable indicators. Sige po, Sir Gerard. Sige, what are these PPST RSPC indicators? Ano ba itong RSPC? RSP. Okay. Recruitment, Selection, Promotion Indicators. So, on the slide, you can see there are 9 PPST-based objectives in the RSP or the Recruitment, Selection, Promotion. 5 classroom observable and 4 non-classroom observable. So, kalimtan sa nato ng 4 non-classroom observable kasi di-discuss yan mamaya ng isang speaker. Dito muna tayo magfo-focus sa 5 classroom observable. However, on the illustration, dapat maintindihan ng lahat na itong domains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these 7 domains are found in DepEd Order 42 Series 2017, National Adoption and Implementation of the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. And bawat domain nito ay mayroon siyang strands. Kaya yung domain 1, mayroon siyang ilan yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strands. Ang domain 2, mayroong 6 strands. Ang domain 3, mayroong 5 strands. And so on and so forth. So, mayroong mga respective numbers yan. So, yung check na yan, tingnan natin yung naka-check na mga strands. Sa domain 1, mayroong tatlong strands na naka-check, no? Yung 1.1, 1.4, at 1.5. Ibig pong sabihin, sa 7 strands na yan, tatlo lang ang kinuha para po dito sa hiring process natin for teacher 1. Tingnan niyo yung domain 2, walang kinuha. Domain 3, wala ding kinuha. Domain 4, isa lang ang kinuha na strand, that is 4.1. Domain 5, isa lang din ang kinuha, 5.1. In other words, pinili lang, no? Mayroong 5 na piling-pili sa ating hiring process. Yun yung tinatawag nating COI or Classroom Observable Indicators. Ibig po sabihin nito, yung makikita natin as you do your demo teaching. Yung naka-brown doon na 4 na under domain 6 strands 1 and 3 at saka domain 7 strands 2 and 3, 4 po sila ay tinatawag natin non-classroom observable indicators or NCOIs. Ibig pong sabihin, hindi yan sila makikita as you demo or demonstrate your subject, no? As you do your demo teaching, whatever subject you want to do, no? So, that's it. So, naka-brown yung NCOI at naka parang pink ba ito yung COI. So, focus tayo dito sa 5. Okay, ano-ano ba itong 5 na ito na tinatawag na COIs or Classroom Observable Indicators? Sige po, Sir Gerard. Iyan po, thank you. So ito po yung ating PPST Classroom Observable Indicators o yung inyong dapat maipakita, no? So let us simplify this. Yung dapat ninyong i-demonstrate, yung dapat makita ng mag-o-observe sa inyo, yung dapat ninyong malagay sa inyong lesson plan, dapat ninyong ma-manifest as you are observed by 3, no? 3 observers. So you can see there 1.1.2, 1.4.2, 1.5.2, 4.1.2, and 5.1.2. You notice na hindi siya sunod-sunod yung numbers. Kasi po, pinili lang ito, yung 5. Okay, as I explained kanina. So let's try to see yung 1.1.2. Apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. Ayan ay nasa domain 1, strand 1. Ano yung 2? Yung pangatlong 2. Pangatlong digit. Yan yung career stage. Alam po natin na mayroong career stages ang ating PPST, di ba? Yung una, yung beginning teachers, yung pangalawa, proficient teachers, yung pangatlo, highly proficient teachers, at saka yung pang-apat, distinguished teachers. So, minimal, kayo ngayon na nandyan pa sa labas ng DepEd, kayo yung nasa beginning teachers. Beginning teachers kayo. The moment na papasok kayo sa DepEd, automatic kayo ay nasa point 2. Kaya expected na kayo ay mag-demonstrate o maipakita ninyo yung proficient teachers sa DepEd, observers. Kaya mapapansin ninyo yung pangatlong digits dyan, puros to, no? 1.1.2, 1.4.2. So lahat to dyan sa pangatlong digits kasi 2 stands for proficient teachers or career stage 2. So, yung details ng DepEd Order 42, Series 2017, na basahin na lang ninyo mamaya, no, pagkatapos kasi mas maintindihan natin pag mabasa nyo yon. Okay, number 2, 1.4.2, use a range of teaching strategies that enhance learner achievement in literacy and numeracy skills. So, paano ninyo mapabasa ang mga bata? No, literacy and numeracy, that's both words and numbers. 1.5 5.2, apply a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking, as well as other higher order thinking skills. 4.1.2, plan, manage, and implement developmentally sequenced teaching and learning processes to meet curriculum requirements and varied teaching context. And 5.1.2, design, select, organize, and use diagnostic, formative, and summative assessment strategies consistent with curriculum requirements. So if you notice, dear applicants, yung 5 pinili na mga strands na lahat ay nasa career stage 2 proficient teachers, ay kung naalaala pa ninyo ang inyong lesson planning sa college pa kayo, ito lahat ay makikita natin as you prepare your lesson plan. You see, yung number 1 is on content. Dapat alam mo yung ano yung content. Kung magde-demo ka ng English, dapat alam mo yung content. Baka iba-iba yung discussion natin sa demo teaching. Yung pangalawan, 1.4.2, ano ba yun? Strategies. So, mayroon ka ng content, hindi mo man din alam paano yan ituro. Ano yung strategy o effective strategy na gagamitin mo para mas maintindihan ng learners mo. Kaya sabi ni assistant kanina, dapat sa pag-demo ninyo, mayroon kayong learners para ma-manifest po ito. 1.5.2, apply a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking. So dapat mayroon kayong, mayroon kayong art of questioning, mayroon kayong mga prompt questions to the learners para sila ay maka-interact sa inyo. 4.1.2, plan, manage, and implement. Ano ba yan? Yung sequence. Ano bang parts ng lesson plan? So expected na lahat kayo, kasi mga PRC let passers naman kayo. Of course, hindi mo siguro makapasar sa college kung di mo ka mauani, no? Hindi din kayo makapasa ng let, kung hindi din kayo alam nito. So dapat yung sequence ng lesson plan, baka yung assessment nasa number 1. Hindi ba? Yung assessment nasa last. Diba? Objectives yung nauna. So bahala na kayo dyan, basta you follow the sequence of your lesson plan. Kaya dapat, kasi applicant tayo, detailed lesson plan yung isasubmit ninyo doon sa link na pinag-usapan kanina ni Assistant Superintendent. Okay, 5.1.2. Ayan, klarong-klaro, the assessment. Diagnostic, formative, and summative assessment strategies. Paano ba ninyo ipinakita yung assessment ninyo sa 45-minute na inyong demo teaching? Of course, these 5 chosen classroom observable indicators are to be assessed through classroom observation demonstration by the HRMPSB or subcommittees. If you remember, mayroong naka-flash kanina ni Assistant Superintendent yung names ng mga supervisors natin sa English, Filipino, different subjects, at mayroon silang mga members. Sila po yung tinatawag nating subcommittees. Okay, so yun, sila yung mag-o-observe sa inyo. Okay, I hope naintindihan. Next slide, please. Gerard, please.
Yes, Chief.
Okay. Thank you. This slide, dear applicants, yung iPad. Kanina pinag-usapan ni Assistant, may iPad doon. Itong iPad ay mga teachers na, di ba sa Agusan del Sur, meron tayong Manobo, Igaunon, Banwaon, ano pa yung iba? So, mayroon tayong mga teacher applicants na nagturo dati at saka na-slash at ngayon nakapasa sila at saka yung iba ay new applicants. So they are to be considered and they are called as iPad teachers so that they will be observed in accordance to this. So tingnan niyo ano bang naiiba dito. Kanina 5, ngayon mayroong napasok na bago. So yung naka 1.6.2. display proficient use of mother tongue, Filipino, and English to facilitate teaching and learning. So hindi po masama na nag-in-English, nag-Bisaya, nag-Filipino. Hindi po yun masama. That's bridging, no? Bridging ang tawag natin doon. Kasi kung ang learners natin ay mga manubo, for example, tapos manubo ang applicant at gusto niya magtuturo doon sa schools na implementing iPad or indigenous people's education, dapat marunong siyang magminanubo, no? Can speak the language. So we call that the mother tongue kasi mayroon man tayong Sinorbuanong Binisaya, pwede rin siyang manubo, Igaunon. Those are languages na tinatawag natin consider as mother tongue. Okay, so yun yung parang naiba sa ating teachers or iPad teachers. Again, this shall be observed by subcommittees, as mentioned, headed by Sir Thomas Ferrol. So meaning, lahion na to. Lahion ang mga applicants nga mga iPad o indigenous peoples para sila ay i-grupo sila for a special group to observe them. Okay. Kay kung magminanubo siya niya ang observer dili kabalo magminanubo, dili sila masabtan. So therefore Thomas Ferrol can speak the language so that magkasinabot si observer o si demo teacher. Okay, next slide. Okay, so dili na ta ani sa mga mga tools nga atong gamiton sa. So you can see there, observation notes form, rating sheet, then inter-observer agreement form. So we would like to inform you that the 3 observers, of course, who will observe you during the specified time or specified dates, will be using these 3 tools. The observation notes, rating sheet, and inter-observer agreement form. Ibig po sabihin ng inter-observer agreement form, you should know that yung 3 observers ninyo ay magsabot kung unsa ang i-rating sa inyo. Dili po siya averaging. Okay. Sige po. Next slide. Sige, Ryan. Go ahead. Okay. Sige. So, ito, hindi na ninyo ito concern, but we would like to inform you that we have chosen the best observers. So, they are headed by the different education program supervisors, division coordinators. Piling-pili sila, 5 from the field. And of course, they are designated as subcommittee members. Okay, sila ay magagaling sa ating classroom observation. They are master teachers, head teachers, at PSDSS, PSDIs. Go ahead, Gerard. Okay, so as I have said, kailangan ng 2 or 3 observers to observe each one of you. Okay, so na-mention ko na kanina yung mga tools, observation notes, rating sheet, inter-observer agreement form. So, mag-a-agree po yung observers. Sige po. Sige, Gerard. Okay, ito yung ating actual observation na form. Doon isusulat ng observers yung kanilang nakita. Paano ninyo ipinapakita yung pagtuturo ninyo. Or we call that demo teaching. Of course, naka-canned video po siya, no? Hindi siya in-person demo teaching. As explained by our Assistant Superintendent, canned demo. Sige po, Gerard. Okay. So you see here, observation must be done with actual learners. Kaya in-emphasize na assistant kanina na yung 45-minute canned video demo teaching po ninyo ay mayroon dapat kayong kaharap na learners. Of course, yung past 2 years ba yon, wala kayong learners kasi COVID yon. No? Kung napapansin ninyo, still remember, naka-steady yung camera. no ninyo atubang na gid permanente ang teacher. This time kasi mandatory itong actual learners. Kailangan mayroon kayong cameraman na magtuyok-tuyok, no, makita ang mga bata, naga-move siya, kita ang mga angles, how your learners sana responded or will respond to your questions, to your activities in the classroom. Of course, sabi dito 45 minutes to 1 hour. So ato itong minimum of 45 minutes. No, sige po. Padayon. So dili na si problema kay dili man mo mag face to face. Sige. At least you know. Okay, sige padayon. Sige, Gerard. Okay, yung sinabi ko kanina na kailangan magsabot ang observers kung pila ang i-rating sa inyo. Sige, go ahead, Gerard. So, delete na nila na ano. Okay. Sige, na-explain na ako na. Okay, delete sa pag-compute. Katong uban, delete naman to ninyo concern, no? Concern man to sa subcommittees. But at least you know nga, ingon ato ang procedure. Okay. Rubrics for computation of PPST COIs. So you see on the slide, COT rating over 30 times weighted average. Paano ba yan? Where COT rating, applicants' final rating obtained in the demonstration of COIs as reflected in the COT RSP Inter-Observer Agreement Form. So, di ba, magsabot nun tong tulo ka observers kung pila ang ilang i-rating sa imo as you do after your demo teaching. So, kung 5, mamaya ano natin yung rubrics i-explain natin. Di ba 5 yon, 5 indicators yon, ang maximum na points bawat isa ay 6. So 6 times 5, definitely 30 yon. Di ba? That's the perfect score. Kung perfect, kuha ni mo tanan 666 to times 5, 30. Okay, so that's it. 30 as the highest score in COT. Weighted average is 35, di ba kanina? The highest ang 35. Okay. Sige, so let us try to see the illustration here. Okay. Yung 20 divided by 30, ibig sabihin, 20 ra ang nasabutan nila nga i-rate sa imuha. Kanya kay ang perfect is 30, ibig sabihin, 20 divided by 30 times 35. Sabi ko kanina, the highest points ang demo. Kaya times 35. So, yun, yung points na imong rating, no, sa demo teaching is 23.333 or 333. So, meaning, that is kung 20 ang imong nasabutan nga rating. What is perfect? So 30 divided by 30. So yon. So sayon naman no, murag dili kayo siya komplikado unlike katong kang Sir Gamil ganina medyo siguro I do not know kung nakakuan mo ato nakasunod. Medyo komplikado siya kasi may mga increment. Dito siya so simple to compute. No, again, rating nimo as agreed by the 3 observers divided by the perfect score times the weighted average nga 35 equals your points. Okay? Sayon ra kaayo. Next. So mao nang dinhi pwede daw ang manang ingon ni assistant kanina atong gikan video lesson pwede siya face to face pero naay option ang division nga i-can siya no. Kay we expect more or less 2,000 applicants this time. Siguro napakarami. Sige. Kaya nakakand yung inyong demo teaching. Next slide, Gerard. So ito, reminders po sa lahat na teacher applicants, review the COT RSP rubric. Ayan. May rubric na i-flash natin yan, i-explain natin. So dapat masabtan ninyo ang rubric ani. Plan the lesson based on the identified indicators. Meaning, di ka kahimog lesson plan kung di ka kasabot sa rubric. So meaning, unang-una, dapat maintindihan ninyo ano yung rubric nito. Then, gagawa kayo ng lesson plan. Of course, provide the observers with the DLP, no, your detailed lesson plan. Kaya sinabi kanina, i-upload niyo ang lesson plan, i-upload din niyo yung canned video demo. Then deliver the lesson. Yun. Yun yung dapat nating tandaan. Sige, next. Next, Gerard. Okay. Ang katong rubrics, Gerard, TRF naman eh. This is Ma'am Joy's topic. May I request Gerard to flash the rubrics? Parang separate file yun, Sir Gerard. Wala siya dito sa PowerPoint. Dear applicants, stand by for the rubrics na sinabi kanina na dapat natin masundan yung rubrics na yun. Para maka-perfect score gitag 6. Each one of you should target 6 as the maximum points. Para pag 6 times 5 indicators, mayroon kayong perfect score na 30. Di ba po? Para dako mong points pag-compute. Sir Gerard, yung rubrics po.
Yes, Chief, for a while.
Thank you. Okay, very good. Thank you. So, dear applicants, ito na po yung sinabi natin kanina na classroom observation tool, recruitment, selection, placement pala yung P. Pwede din siyang promotion. For teacher applicant, sige nga, pakitaas. Ayan, paano ba yan? So, mayroon tayo diyang rubric level summary. Ano ba yan? Dako daw, Gerard. Okay. Ang igrado sa inyo sa 2 to 3 observers, the lowest is 2 and the highest is 6. Sa 5 indicators na yung na-mention natin kanina, na chosen from the 7 from the domains of the PPST. So 2 level label is building, 3 is organizing, 4 is developing, 5 is applying, and 6 is consolidating. Ano ba ang description ng building or level 2, the lowest? Pwede lakihan, Gerard. Can we still zoom it? Okay, thank you. The teacher demonstrates a limited range of separate aspects of the indicator. The teacher, so that's for building. For organizing, the teacher demonstrates a limited range of loosely associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator. Developing, the teacher demonstrates a range of associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator that sometimes are aligned with the learner's developmental needs. Then rating of 5, applying, the teacher demonstrates a range of associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator that usually are aligned with the learner's developmental needs. And the perfect score is 6. The teacher uses well-connected pedagogical aspects of the indicator that consistently are aligned with student developmental and support students to be successful learners. Okay, yun yung ating description sa 5 levels. Okay, again, sabi ko kanina, targetin ninyo yung 6, yung consolidating. So I challenge all of you to focus on level 6, consolidating sa inyong lesson planning para po mayroon kayong perfect score per indicator. Sige po, Sir Gerard, next. Ayan, thank you. So, kanina na-mention na natin ito, no? Na mayroong 5 indicators na pinili from the different domains and indicators in the PPST. So, indicator 1, apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. So, mayroong 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At mayroon din itong features of practice. In other words, itong features of practice, parang dinidescribe ano ba ang dapat gawin ninyo, ng isang guro, ng isang teacher applicant para makakaroon siya ng rating na 6. Itong features of practice. So, basahin na lang ninyo yung opposite ng 6, opposite ng 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sabi ko kanina, wag na mag-focus ng below 5 and below. Doon kayo mag-focus sa 6. Kasi definitely lahat kayo ay gusto na mag-top sa RQA. So, dito tayo sa 6 mag-focus. So, studyhin ninyo ng indicator 1, level 6, and the features of practice. Yun yung inyong gawan ng lesson ninyo. Lesson plan. Sige, next, Gerard. So, mayroon dito mga clarifications, no? And these are self-explanatory. Mayroon mga words dyan na in-unlock dito sa mga